This is one of my favourite recipes. It's bread and buttery pudding. Now the first thing we're going to do is just spread the buttery onto the bread, and notice the crusts have been cut off to make life just that little bit easier when popping it all on. So this is the first stage. The next thing I'm going to do is just split them in two like that. So basically we've got nice little triangles, which is going to give us a better presentation and of course much easier to fit the bread into the dishes that we're going to be cooking them in. And now it's time to fill the little dish. Very simple. All I'm going to do here is sort of do 3 layers of the bread, putting one at the top in the dish and then 2 which are going to be overlapping all the way down. You're going to need about a dozen slices of bread in total. And the next thing I'm going to add is a little touch of nutmeg and then a mixture of raisins and sultanas, about 25 grams of each. So we can just sprinkle those on. Now we turn the dish around and repeat exactly the same process. And now we turn around once more, and the top layer, we don't want any nutmeg or any fruits at all, so we get that really nice clean finish. So that's that stage so far. The next thing is the custard itself. Now in here I have 800 millilitres of semi-skimmed milk, and to that we're going to add egg yolks, 8 of which I have in this bowl, and 175 grams of sugar. One other flavour I'm going to add to that milk, of course, I've been mentioning the vanilla. And here I've just taken a fresh vanilla pod and I've split this and scraped the seeds, but the pod is going in. And of course the nice little vanilla seeds we have here, which we can just stir in to the milk to really take on that lovely little spicy flavour. Now it's time to whisk the egg yolks and the sugar together. And there it is. As you can see, quite creamy, ready to pour in the hot custard the moment it comes up to simmering point. And now the milk is just at that point, so we can lift out that pod. Let's pop that in there, switch that off, and now literally just pour that slowly on top of the eggs and the sugar. So that's it, our custard mix is made. The next thing we're going to do is just simply ladle it on top of the bread. Now one of the other secrets when making this pudding, as you're pouring the custard on, when it looks as if it's full, just leave it to rest for a good 20 to 30 minutes, and slowly but surely during that period the custard will be even more absorbed by the bread, leaving you more space to finish off exactly what you've got sitting in this bowl. So now's the time to stop and the time to leave it to relax. Now, of course, it's time to cook it. I'm going to cover it with a little touch of buttery foil to protect the top. And the next stage is to cook it in a water bath, just allowing the water to come about halfway up the side of the dish. So let's pop that in here. And the water has already been preheated. So just up again to simmering point before popping it into the oven. You want the oven preheated about 180 degrees and about 20 to 30 minutes until that custard just begins to thicken, almost at that setting point. So now the bread and buttery pudding is ready. So that's it. It's ready to eat, but for an extra little crunchy bite, I'm going to top it with some sugar, which we can then either pop under a preheated grill to allow that just to caramelize and become nice and crisp, or as I'm going to use, very carefully, use a gas gun. So, there we are. As simple as that. And you can see now why this bread and Flora Buttery pudding is one of my favourites. Crispy, but succulent underneath. Hope you enjoy it.